We are in the middle of a morning coffee series about, hopefully this fall, maybe try to give you some ideas, help you become a more successful deer hunter, all right? And telling you some of the tips and things that I do, have learned over the years, and most of it involved hunting on public land, all right? That's how I learned these things. But the last morning coffee, we talked about an opportunity I had to hunt almost 8,200 acres, one piece in hour north of the Twin Cities in Minnesota. And opening day, I decided to hunt on the fence line where most of the pressure's coming from. Got 8,200 acres to hunt anywhere I want. Anywhere I want. My pick on 8,200 acres. And I chose to hunt on the fence line where most of the pressure's coming from. Because deer don't know what side of the fence they're going to be on, all right? But it is true that in most places, especially once deer get a little pressure on them, you have the opening day of season, and then you have the rest of the season. Things change. They get a little pressure on them. Deer's behaviors changes. It changes, you know. And I'd been there several days on this huge piece of great property, you know, and the deer aren't just standing around with a sign saying, "Shoot me, make me a TV star. I want to be on your TV show." No, they don't want to be on my TV show. And it was slow. You know, I thought, think, Roger, think. It's what I tell people. I tell you, use common sense. Put your thinking cap on. Think. Well, there's a 1,000-acre swamp right down in the middle of this 8,200-acre property. A 1,000-acre swamp. What's the one word that comes to mind when you think of when you're deer hunting on foot of a swamp? I ain't going in there. Unpenetrable, impenetrable, whatever word that is. Yeah. The deer get off in there. Adios. See you later. You know, what a great sanctuary. I told my cameraman, I said, in the morning we're going to go right down in next to that swamp, and just right at the edge of the swamp, and that's where we're going to hunt. You know, I didn't have a spot picked out. I said, we're just going to go in there right about daylight, and we did. Walked in there just at the crack, just found a spot and just sit down on the ground, right in next to that swamp. You know, and about 5 minutes after 7, you know, just decent light, here he comes. He wasn't a giant buck, but probably in inches, 135, 140 inch 8-pointer, something like that. You know, pretty good buck. You know, man, he was nervous as a cat on a hot tin roof. He getting ready to pile off into that swamp. Just as he got up there, about 30 yards from me, he getting ready to cut and go into the swamp. That's the last thing he ever remembered. I filled my deer tag. The opening day, I got over there where all the pressure was coming from, you know. 3 or 4 days later, I got back off in there into the thickest, nastiest stuff. Even though it's close shooting, that's where I found my deer. You know, on the DVD, VHS, Close Enough to Kiss. You know, a lot of you can remember me shooting that buck at point blank range with my bow, back down in that thick, nastiest stuff where you couldn't hardly see 10 feet, you know. Bucks will react to pressure. Does will react to pressure. It's the pressure that's put on them, all right, by the hunters. You have to adapt your hunting principle where you're hunting to the pressure that's being applied to the deer, all right. Hunting fence lines is great, but sometimes you might have to get off the fence line and get in to where the thickest, the heaviest cover is. Now, in our next morning coffee, I'm going to tell you a great story and some advice I gave a local hunter from here that it went in one ear and out the other. I hope the things I'm talking to you about doesn't go in one ear and out the other. I'm giving you things, some meat and potatoes that you can sink your teeth into, and I promise you, if you'll apply these principles I'm talking to you about, you're going to have a much better deer season this upcoming year. Stay tuned for our next morning coffee. All of our morning coffees are available on our streaming channel, RogerRaglandChannel.com. You have a good day.